This video is all about fat, and I'd like to just add a disclaimer that I'm not a dietitian, a nutrition, I'm no expert on fat. I'm a layperson basically talking to other lay people about fat. So if you're an expert on fat and you want to add a comment that helps us all learn a bit more, please do. Okay, so when we consider fat in our bodies and the fat that we're ingesting, the main concern is metabolic health. Metabolic system includes our gut, our pancreas, our liver, our kidneys, mitochondria at the cellular level, and our endocrine system, which is our adrenal glands and our thyroid glands. And so between all of these organs, and the mitochondria, chemical reactions happen, and they catabolize or convert nutrients from food into energy. And some of this energy is used to anabolize or build our cells, build muscle, hold fat. So there's these chemical reactions of breaking down and building up the body based on energy that we are getting from the food we're eating, from our nutrients. So our metabolic health is how well our metabolic system is working. If it's ineffective or out of whack in some way, then glucose or sugar and triglycerides, which are fats, build up in the bloodstream, and they cause basically stress and inflammation on our cells. And from that, we can end up with, there's a risk of diabetes, stroke, and heart disease. The regulation of our metabolism is important, and fat in our body does impact our metabolism. Fat is stored in the body in the form of triglycerides. And so when we eat food, no matter if we're eating sugar, carbs, fats, or proteins, if you eat too much of any of those types of food, if you eat more than you are expending, then that extra energy gets converted by the liver and stored as triglyceride fat. And it's stored in two ways. It can be subcutaneous fat and visceral fat. Subcutaneous fat is like the fat you can see, you can pinch it, it keeps you warm, it gives you a bit of bounce and consistency, and it can also be a strain on your joints if you have too much of it. So it's not so much a worry for metabolic health. Visceral fat is a worry for metabolic health. That's the fat that's under the muscle layer, you can't see it, it's in your abdomen, and it wraps itself around your organs, including those involved in the metabolic processes. And visceral fat secretes inflammatory proteins and hormones that cause your insulin resistance, that causes your insulin to become resistant, your blood sugar rises, your pancreas has to work harder, your whole metabolic system gets out of whack, and now you're at risk of these diseases. And the issue is that how you store your triglyceride fat that's made from that extra energy you've eaten, whether it gets stored as subcutaneous fat or visceral fat, is beyond your control. It has to do with hormones, genetics, your sex, and your age. And so the good news, though, is that what you do have control over is how much you eat. If you're going to eat that extra energy and store it as triglyceride fat in the first place, you can control that by eating healthy, exercising, having a balanced diet, reducing your alcohol and sugar, sleep well, and if you do these things, your triglycerides will burn away. And I can make a separate video on that, and how that burns away, and weight loss involves plateaus and stuff, and it's normal and it's the body's processes. But anyways, visceral fat apparently burns away quicker than subcutaneous fat, which is good news for your health. There's a second type of fat, which is cholesterol. Cholesterol is, you need it in your body. It's waxy, and it's used to build cell membranes, make hormones. You don't actually need to eat anything with cholesterol in it to get the amount of cholesterol you need, because your liver naturally makes enough cholesterol on its own. So you got this cholesterol in your body, and cholesterol, again, is a fat. It's not water soluble. So in order to move around in your bloodstream, it needs something to sort of latch onto, basically a little car to drive through your bloodstream. And so cholesterol moves around your bloodstream through lipoproteins. There's 5 different types of lipoproteins that cholesterol uses to move around the body, but The main two are high density lipoprotein and low density lipoprotein, or HDL and LDL. HDL is the good lipoprotein and LDL is the bad lipoprotein. HDL is good because it carries the protein to the cells, like where it needs to go, and HDL carries extra LDL lipoproteins out of the body through the liver. And so the issue with LDL lipoproteins is that if you have too much triglyceride fat, your liver gets out of whack, your whole metabolic system gets out of whack, and your liver starts sort of changing the chemical components of LDL to make it into small, dense particles called pattern B LDL. And these pattern B particles easily slip through your arterial walls and cause this plaque to build up in your arteries, and that causes the heart disease and strokes and heart attack and things like this. And so you want to just not have this LDL in your body. You just want the HDL. When we think about the fat that's in our body from part one, we're thinking about regulating our metabolism. And when we think about the fat that we're ingesting in our body, there's basically two goals. One is to maximize the absorption of healthy fats, and two is to decrease the LDL lipoprotein in our body. So how do we do this? So first of all, we consider what kind of fats we're eating. Trans fat and hydrogenated fat interferes with the absorption of healthy fat. Trans fat and hydrogenated fat are mostly found in processed foods. So the best way to avoid them is to avoid eating processed foods. So we have hydrogenated fat, trans fat, and then we have saturated fat. Saturated fat gets a bad rep, but it can actually reduce the LDL lipoprotein that carries the cholesterol to the arteries where we don't want it to be, because it causes various serious diseases. So saturated fats, when they are consumed in their unrefined forms, can lower LDL lipoprotein. And that would be, for example, grass-fed butter, ghee, coconut, and unrefined coconut milk, unrefined coconut oil. So in moderation, saturated fat can be useful to you. There's also unsaturated fat, which can be broken down into monounsaturated fat and polyunsaturated fat. Monounsaturated fat can be found in avocados, olives, nuts, and seeds, and it also helps to lower the LDL lipoprotein. And the other type of unsaturated fat is polyunsaturated fat, which can be further broken down into omega-6 polyunsaturated fat and omega-3 polyunsaturated fat. So omega-6 polyunsaturated fat can be found in chicken, eggs, and also nuts and seeds. And so this also helps to lower the LDL cholesterol, and actually it can raise the HDL, lipoprotein that carries the cholesterol. And the final type of fat, which is actually the reason that I started this whole video. The reason I started this video is because I was making a video about fish cakes, which is not done yet. But please check it out when it's done. I will post it soon in the next few days. But I was making a video on fish cakes because I'm interested in sardines, which is one of the smash fish. I'll talk about this in my other video. And smash fish are good for you because they're high in protein, calcium, and polyunsaturated omega-3 fats. Cold water fatty fish are a great source of omega-3 fats. And omega-3 fats are good for the reasons that we talked about before. They lower the LDL cholesterol, they raise the HDL cholesterol, and they just help that, so that like helps to regulate the metabolism and all of this. And so polyunsaturated omega-3 fats can be broken down further, of course, into three categories: ALA, EPA, and DHA. So EPA is useful to reduce inflammation. It's good for heart health. It's good for your mood. And DHA is good for your nervous system. It's good for your cognitive function. It's good for your eyes. EPA and DHA are sort of more important than ALA. And the reason why is because our body has evolved over time to be able to absorb EPA and DHA more easily than it can ALA. So ALA is found in hemp, walnuts, flax, chia. Okay, I'm losing light really quickly. There's a huge storm coming, so I'm out of time. I just want to say quickly, there's a lot of supplements out there for omega-3. There's algae oil supplements that going right to the source, they're very expensive. There's fish oil supplements that are based on the smashed fish, the cold water fatty fish, or you can just eat cold water fatty fish. And you can check out my smash fish video, which is actually was the original video that I made for this site, and it inspired this sidebar on fat. I'm not done the smash video, but it'll be done in a few days. Anyways, so if you do get into supplements, always talk to your doctor. Never just take my advice. I'm a layperson. This is an educational video only, but what I will say that from my research, I came across never have cod fish oil. Cod fish oil is dangerous because cod is so high in vitamin A and you can really mess yourself up. So just stay away from that and talk to your doctor. And I will say that the National Institute of Health recommends 1.1 gram for a normal, healthy adult woman, 1.1 gram of omega 3s a day, and for a man it would be 1.6. But again, everyone's individual, so you have to like ask your doctor and don't take my advice. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And thank you for watching, and enjoy your fatty foods. And I will be enjoying this massive storm.